everyone, welcome. Just a quick little practice for you here today to help you feel centered, grounded in your body, and to create a little bit of space in your ribs. All you'll need is a couple of blocks. Thick books will also work well if you don't have blocks, and then you can begin. So we're going to start in a seated position, and if you have sensitive ankles or knees, take the block between your feet and narrow the distance between your legs a little bit so it's about as wide as your pelvis. Alternatively, if you're comfortable, you could sit directly on your feet today in like a Vajrasana, so you get a little bit more opening through the front of your ankles, the front of your feet that way, only if it's comfortable. Okay, so wherever you are, stack your spine tall, broaden across your collarbones and your shoulder blades behind you. And then join your palms just into a soft prayer near the center of your chest. Imagine a mirroring set of hands now behind your heart. And as though you could frame that energetic center between those two prayers. Invite the breath to emanate from the heart center outwards in all directions. Tune into your breathing. Tune into the sensations of your body. And if you're so inclined, tune in to an intention or an offering that you would like to make here with this brief practice. Take one clearing breath in through the nose. Open your mouth as you exhale to release. And go ahead, blink your eyes open. Shift out of your seat for a moment through to a tabletop position. You can clear the block from behind your seat if you hadn't already. And from your hands and knees, step your right foot back in space, ground the right heel down to the midline. If you feel quite steady in your bounce, you might keep your left toes pointing towards the arch of the right foot. If you feel a little wobblier, then swivel your left shin 90 degrees towards your left. Wherever you are, press down through your left palm and reach high through your right fingers. You're going to take the right arm up alongside your ear here today. Find a bend in the right elbow so you can catch the back of your skull, and as your head leans into your hand, let your fingers traction the base of your skull forward in space. Continue to heavy your right foot down as you reach through your right elbow. Just one more breath. You lengthen your right arm from here as you inhale. As you exhale, you can return your right palm down. Swivel your left toes back if you had pivoted the shin. Draw your right knee in underneath your right hip again through table. Breathe in to stretch your left arm up in space. And as you exhale, thread the needle without landing down on the left shoulder just yet. Again, push down into the right palm. Weave your left arm up as you inhale. Twisting towards the right as you exhale. One more time, breathe in. Twist on your breath out. Good. Return your left palm down underneath your left shoulder here now. Step your left foot back in space. You ground your left heel down to the midline, and again, either keep your right toes pointing straight towards the arch of the left foot or swivel your shin 90 degrees to the right. Draw your left arm up towards the ceiling as you inhale, and then brush it alongside your left ear from there. Once more today, you'll bend the elbow to catch the back of your skull. Instead of thinking of looking up in space with the arm and opening the chest, think of reaching your left elbow towards the front of the mat. And the more you can heavy your left foot down, the more pressure there is, creating that forward movement through the left side ribs. Last breath here. Stretch your left elbow long as you breathe in. As you exhale, you can return the left palm down, swivel your right shin back if it wasn't already there, and return the left knee in. Right arm up as you inhale. Thread the needle, twisting towards your left as you exhale. Again, breathe in. Twist on your breath out. Last one, inhale. Exhaling. And return the right palm down underneath your right shoulder as you breathe in. And now bring your blocks in underneath your hands. You can determine the height. First or second is fine. And sit back into a child's pose where your knees are slightly wider than your pelvis. Big toes together. You may adjust where your blocks are in space so that just the first knuckle folds over the front spine of the block. Now the forehead may very well not land on the ground, and that is fine. If you feel like you need to push your blocks further forward so that your elbows here are long and it's really just that first knuckle of the middle finger that's creeping around the border of the block, then go ahead, slide the blocks further forward. Create some length in the sides of your torso here, just for one more breath. Draw yourself up through table on your next breath in. And take a moment, curl your toes under when you feel steady. Find downward facing dog. Take 3 breath cycles in downward facing dog. Eyes could be open or closed, but try to steady them wherever they are. And allow the steadiness of your focus contribute to a greater sensation of steadiness in the body and maybe also in the mind. Lift your heels on your breath in. Think of coming up way high here so you stretch out the root of your toes. And as you exhale, lower your knees forward and down to your table one more time. Adjust the block that's under your left hand so that it's on its lowest height in line with your face if it wasn't already on that low height. And then return the left palm under your shoulder. Right arm will reach up on your next breath in. Thread the needle, and this time as the right arm comes underneath, land your right temple down onto the block. Make sure you're not collapsing down into the side of the neck, so you don't want the left side of your neck all squishy. Think of keeping both sides of the neck long. Left hand can stay where it is, or tense your fingers further forward. Okay, imagine that the left arm was that left arm in child's pose a moment ago, so reaching it as long as you possibly can as you spiral through the left. And then you could also imagine that I was in the room with you, and just tractioning your hips back away from the reach of your elbow. Last breath. You return your left palm down underneath your left shoulder. Unwind your right arm so that it can ground on the block. And return the left palm under the left shoulder and then place the right block underneath the center of your chest. Right palm can lower flat. Take your left arm up as you inhale, open your ribs. Twisting on your exhale, land the left side of your face down. Again, keeping all sides of your neck nice and long. Right arm can stretch forward alongside your ear, and think of it really kind of hugging in versus reaching out on the diagonal, as long as that's available for you through your shoulders. Last 2 breaths. Continue to feel your hips pulling back away from the reach of your right fingertips. And let the right palm ground underneath you once again. Unwind your left arm. You return the block underneath your right hand, and you're going to adjust your blocks now so that they actually come under your mat. So you can fold the front third of your mat back in space. Place your blocks shoulders width apart on their lowest setting and the vertical length. And then flip your mat back on top of your blocks. Okay, so you want the mat nice and taut. Come down from there onto your forearms. You can take a soft prayer of your hands. Toes pointed or tucked is up to you, but keep your pelvis roughly stacked with your knees, and then send your hips back as you let your prayer shape now come towards the back of the heart. And the mat creates this nice little sling that your forehead can rest into. You just want to make sure that you continue to ground your elbows on your blocks so that the forehead doesn't kind of overpower the weight of the arms. You invite the breath to reach up into the space between your shoulder blades, near where the prayer of your fingers is directed. Last 2 breaths. And when you're ready, you can release the bend of your elbows. Slide yourself gently back from there into a child's pose, either the arms underneath, or rather back alongside your shins, or forward alongside your ears. One last cycle of breath here. Round yourself up once more to sit on your heels or sneak that block in between your feet once again. Once you've stacked your spine, join your hands ever so slightly. Bow your head towards that prayer. And allow the breath to encompass the full circumference of the ribcage here now. And take one last inhale through the nose, opening your mouth to release your breath out. Namaste.